and they are in tears because they're going into administration. It's not the market, it's the government that's done this. The government takes 36p out of every pound that we take, out of which we've got to pay cost of goods, we've got to pay labour, we've got to pay rent, we've got to pay everything else, operating costs. So this is why Itsu is losing 40 million, whatever it is, a year. Pret's losing money. That's why Asda couldn't run Leon. It's not the market. It's the non-market related upward only rents, and it's the non-market related taxation that you read about killing the high street. When people are in tears who've built business over 30 years and they are in tears because they're going into administration, it's not the market, it's the government that's done this. And it's the landlords as well, owned by the big institutions, that seem to want to kill the mom and pop operator. So we've got a prime minister that seems to not like commerce. We've got a chancellor of the exchequer that doesn't understand what they're doing, and that's killing industry. And that's why every time you could call someone up, they say, I've moved to Dubai, I've moved to Portugal, I've moved to whatever. It's not fucking okay, and we've got to sort it out. The House of Lords is the house of effectively the landlords, and they set the laws and agree the laws, and they're the landed gentry, and guess what? They don't like rent going down. Even though the market should go down, even if it should go down according to the market. So on the economics of restaurants, very quickly, we used to make sort of like, the model in 2004 was 20% restaurant profit at a restaurant level, 8% head office costs needed to be contributed, so that was like 12%. We then had 6%, say, of depreciation, which is the money you have to put in each year because you've put 500,000 capex into the actual unit, so the profit needs to pay that off over time. That would take you down to 4, 5, 6%. What happened then is they took rates that were 4% of sales and increased it to 8%. So your 6% of profit went down to 2%. Then national insurance came in an extra 3%, took it down to minus 1%, so loss making. And then you've got rents going up. Then you've got energy costs pushing everything up. Then you've got cost of goods up because of energy costs. So that's why these businesses are loss making. And I don't think the government understands it. I don't think they've taken time to understand it. They don't understand the economics of the industries they're taxing to understand whether it's going to kill the industry. They have killed the industry.
Is it too far gone to save it?
No, if they did it now, it could save some. But they need to do it in the next few weeks.
What would they have to do to make it? What's the biggest lever that they could pull quickly?
The biggest lever is that they could normalise business rates. There are 3 levers that they can pull. Any one of them would do. They could take business rates back to what it was historically in 2004 or even in 2010. The business rates were sensible. They could reverse the stupid national insurance tax on employment, which is 3% of sales. That still wouldn't give us a great economics, but it would at least help. And thirdly, they could take VAT. When you go to a restaurant and you eat in and you have a salad and you sit at a table, you pay 20% VAT. If you buy that exactly the same salad in Tesco and eat it on the park bench outside Tesco, that salad does not have VAT because it's obviously it's seen as like a normal grocery product. But as soon as you buy it from a restaurant, it has VAT. And that creates a very unlevel playing field of hospitality business versus thing. Because if you're making minus 1% profit, 20% VAT is 20 times the profit of 20%. VAT is 20 times the size of the loss. Does that make sense? So it's quite an important lever to. And in America, you have 6 or 7% sales tax that's flat, of course, everywhere. It doesn't penalise for hot or cold food. You have another stupid thing, which is if you make the particles go faster in a dish and make it hotter, it's VAT. But if it's for takeaway and you make the particles go slower in a fridge, there's no VAT. So that's why it penalises hot food versus cold food. Same amount of ingredients, same amount of prep. So you put it in a machine with electricity, same amount of electricity. You turn the dial up, makes it hot, VAT. You turn the dial down to cool it, no VAT.
That's crazy,
it's the same thing.
It?
It's all these legacy bullshit kind of things. And this is why, rationally, it doesn't make sense to go back into this industry. But ridiculous policies have killed the high street and are killing the high street. And the government, commissions mere reporters to work out how can we save the high street. It's a bit like, a doctor poisoning these patients secretly, and then doing a report on how he can save his patients.
Yeah.
It's just killing it. They're killing it, and they're commissioning reports on how to save it. It's just ridiculous.
Crazy, isn't it? When you break it down.
And we've got to get it from growth. We've got to get creative growth in. And now, of course, the big thing is, how do you get growth that doesn't kill the planet? And that has got to be the homework question. It can't be growth at all costs. It's got to be, how can we create industries that are actually creating goodness, doing something useful for society? Maybe these businesses are making nature better. Maybe businesses should state that as an aim, which Leon does. And then at least if you're solving for the right problem, if you've got the right objectives and you're framing it with the right frameworks and moral frameworks, you're more likely to achieve a good outcome. It might not be easy, but at least if you're making an ameliorant or a betterment of society and the planet an objective or a requirement, then you're more likely to achieve it than if you're not. So that's what I think we should be doing. We should be saying, let's create purpose-driven businesses run by entrepreneurs that give a shit, that are more like the Rowntrees and the Quakers or the Cadburys of old. That's what I think we need.